Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I have a couple adhesives that I want to test for framing the subfloor of the van. And the reason I am doing this test is because I've seen all these adhesives used throughout van builds all over the place, and no one really has tested which one works best with doing aluminum square tubing. You can see that, all right, 1 inch, and glued down directly to the van floor. And what I'm going to be testing here are a few of the popular adhesives. And in addition, to simulate the van floor of the van, I'm using the cutout from the back window of the sheet metal. So it's the same paint and metal that would be on your van floor. So from there, I'll go over the adhesives I'm going to be testing. The first one is the 3M 8693. It's a urethane adhesive used for auto glass. And the reason I want to use this is because urethane sticks to pretty much anything, bonds to whatever, and it can hold your windows on the van going 80 miles an hour down the road. So why wouldn't it be able to hold a square tube of aluminum inside your van, you know? And plus it's like rubbery, and it has flex to it. So, you know, bumps going down the road, it would have give to that, so it wouldn't just kind of snap off. The second one is a popular one, a 3M Marine Adhesive Sealant 5200. Pretty much, you know, along the same lines of the urethane based. Actually, I don't even know if it's urethane, what this is based on. I want to say, oh, polyurethane. Okay. The next one will be the Sikaflex P2G Primerless to Glass, which is another urethane that's used for windows. And the next one will be the one you can get at the big box stores, the Loctite PL8X. And this one is a polyurethane base as well. And I don't think this one has the give on it. It dries solid from setting this up. And then the last one is a Liquid Nails Fuse It All Surface. Same thing, you can get this at the big box stores. And I believe it's some kind of blend. Not sure what the base is, but it's got some flex to it. Feels like rubber. And the way I'll be doing this test is I have 10 3-inch, 1-inch aluminum tube cutouts, and I drilled a hole in the top of them, and I used a little jig so they're all in the same spots. So what I'll be testing here is each one of these twice, and the first top side, which I've already set up here, is all 5 across like this, just straight down to the sheet metal. And all I did was used acetone to just wipe it off, clean off any kind of oils and dirt on both sides of the aluminum tube and the sheet metal. And the second test, I'll be doing all 5 again on this bottom row, but using a layer of this 3M single step primer that I just paint on top of the sheet metal paint, right? First cleaned with acetone, same as the top, but then laid a layer of the single step primer, and then glued down the aluminum tubes to each. And what I'll do is I'll bring the camera closer to show you the setup here of what we got going on. So we have a close-up here just to get a better close-up of the adhesives. Around a little bit. And then we have the top layer, and you'll see I redid these two because I went to test pull after 2 days and it was still wet. So I redid these two. So I'm going to let this cure for a week instead of 2 days because I guess the humidity in the shop is a little high, so it's taking longer to cure. And I want it to be fully cure and dry when I do the scale weight test. And you can see, if you look close, you can see the layer of single step primer that's on the bottom of the glue or on top of the sheet metal. And yeah, I just want to see if you paint a layer of this on the bottom of your van floor, do you need to sand or do any of that to get a good bond? And that's why I'm doing the top as well. Do you really need to sand the paint to get a good bond? And that's what I'll be testing. And I guess it's common sense that if you do sand, yes, you'll get a better bond. But what if you don't? Would it be the, how would it hold? And that's what we'll be testing in this video. And for the scale, I have a ceiling hoist that I don't know if I can get that in there, ceiling hoist that has a weight scale on it, and I will be pulling each of those aluminum tubes through that little hole with a hook. Wow. Recording. Let's give it some more weight. Wow. Oh. Hey. Oh. It didn't hold much at all. And we completed all the tests. I just have a couple things to point out when gluing aluminum to your van floor for the subfloor is to, before you glue anything down, sand the bottom piece of the tubing that will be glued down to the subfloor. That way it gives it more bite. And for the adhesives to use, clearly I would say there's two clear winners. Hard to say. I believe the Sikaflex held more weight, but I believe the liquid nails would have held more weight too in the beginning, as when I was testing it, I didn't have enough weight, so it was lifting the table up. And I ran that test a couple times, and then finally it gave way. But I think if I would have done that straight from the beginning, standing on the table like I did this one, it would probably have the same outcome as I believe this hit like the 400s. But yeah, so the Sikaflex P2G or Diffuse It Liquid Nails All Surface, you can get this at the big box stores. And ideally, you would probably, I would say probably go with this because it's cheaper, than getting a urethane based. I don't know the pricing. I'll post it in the descriptions below of the costs and where you can get these from. So there we have it. So for this van floor here I'm going to probably just go with the Liquid Nails Fuse It. Let me know in the comments below if you would like to see more tests. What I could do in the next test, I could sand the aluminum tubing, fuse back on, or do the single step primer that we did here on the back of these without sanding and see how well it sticks. That might be a pretty good test. And now that I know it kind of works with my body weight on the table, I can get a better simulation between all of them. All right, talk to you later.